Hello everyone, this is Fahimbinamin. So this is the first video of my Linux playlist. First of all, I'm going to show you how you can update your system. That's the important part, because whenever we want to install any application or any app, you can say for short, we use app as the shortcut for application, right? We have to update our system first. So this is a basic step. If you are a Linux user or if you are someone who is interested in Linux, all right, so how can I do that? Well, let me simply go to full screen. For now I'm using a virtual machine, but don't worry, if you are using a virtual machine or WSL or a pure Linux operating system from your boot, the same process is applicable for all of you. All right, so very frequently you might get this type of prompt that they have detected that some updates are still missing and they want you to install it. Whether you want to install it or not, you have to give it here. But I don't like to update my system using this GUI application. GUI, let me show you something. First of all, let me open our text editor and let me simply increase the font size because I'm gonna write here something. So how can I do that? Simply preferences, let's say font, nope, system, let me simply increase the font size to something like 26. All right, it looks good. So GUI is the short form for graphical user interface. You see this notepad type of application, right? This is a GUI application because it has a graphical user interface. But let's say I am doing something using my terminal, or you can say console, like this, then we call it CLI, command line interface. Let me simply show you that here. CLI is the short form for command line interface. So you can notice the difference, right? Let's say I'm simply opening a text file using my terminal. Let me simply increase the font size also. Let's say custom font, and let me simply increase the font size to, let's say, 25, like this. I know it's pretty big, but simply bear with me. All right, so let's say I'm simply gonna create a text file using nano. Don't worry if it is nano and how you can do that. I will show you all of those step by step in the upcoming videos. For now, let me simply show you what is the difference between the GUI application and the CLI application. All right, let's say I'm simply creating a text application. Let's say nano my text.txt. All right, so this is my text application. Let's see, simply I'm gonna write here something. I am writing something using the CLI and I'm gonna save it. So how can I do that? I have to simply use this command Control O, file name to write, let's say my text.txt, and I am simply pressing enter. So it has saved it. Now if I want to close this nano terminal, so what can I use? Control and X, the exit command, right? So that's it. If I simply search for my text, you see that I have my text.txt here. And if I want to open it, how can I open it? I can simply use again nano my text.txt. It's opening again. And if I want to close the nano, I can simply use Control and X. All right, but let's say let me simply take you there. I'm opening my directory, and let's say here, this is the my text.txt. All right, now if I open it in this notepad, I am getting it in my GUI application, GUI notepad application. That means graphical user interface. Here I am seeing the graphics. I can right click here and tweak some settings. I can change it and customize it using the graphical way, right? But let's say I am trying to open it not in the graphical user interface but in the CLI interface. That means in the terminal. How can I do that? I can use a very useful command, which is cat my text.txt. If I simply press enter, you see that I am reading the data from my text file into this terminal. So I am reading the text file using the CLI way, command line interface. So this is the basic difference between the GUI application and the CLI application. But don't worry, I'm gonna take you through everything how you can do that too in your system. All right, so as I was telling you earlier that let's say I want to update my system, but I don't prefer the GUI way. That means clicking here, install now, or remind me later, whatever, blah blah blah. I like to do it using the terminal, because if I use the terminal, if something errors happen, I can identify what actually happened, and I can also make my way to solve those errors. All right, terminal has the best version of it. So let me simply show you how to do that. You can simply click here and open your terminal, or there is a shortcut for opening terminal, which is Ctrl Alt and T. It would open the terminal. If you want to clear previous data, you can simply right clear and hit the enter. It's cleared everything. Now for updating your system, you have to use sudo apt update and simply press the enter key. Now it would ask for your password, so I'm simply providing my password and simply pressing the enter key, and it would start downloading the updates, but it won't install anything without your permission. If you want to install them, then you have to use the command sudo apt upgrade. All right, let me simply give it some times, because I have simply installed this version recently, so I haven't updated anything. Therefore it might take some long time to grab everything from their archive, or you can say the repository. All right, and while this update is in process, let me simply open the Ubuntu software. So this is the graphical user interface application, the GUI application, from where you can install any kind of software that is on the repository. But as I have just told you earlier, I don't prefer the GUI way, because the terminal way or the CLI way is the much suitable version for me. All right, but if you want, you can use the GUI version if you want. That's your choice actually. Let me simply go into the full screen mode. Now let me simply search for something like software updater, and if I simply open it, you see that it's checking for updates. Let me give it some time, and here it is again prompting me to install those updates, but I am simply ignoring it because I'm gonna install it using the CLI. Let me simply show you another thing, and that is something like, all right, now let me show you something else, and that is I'm simply opening my software and updates from here, and let's see, I am going to select it, download from the server within my country or near my country, because if I do that, then I would get a decent speed, because that is nearer to my location, right? And if you need other software updates, authentication, additional drivers, you can use that as well. But as I'm simply running it from my virtual machine, I'm simply not gonna worry about that right now. So here you can see that they have paged all of the updates. That means they have gathered everything which you might want to update. All right, but they haven't downloaded and installed anything. They won't do that without your permission. So here you see that they are telling me that 300 packages can be upgraded. If you want to upgrade all of them, you can simply use sudo apt upgrade and hit the enter key. That will do the job. But let's say you want to see whether you want to update all of them. I mean, you want to see which things they are suggesting you to update. So how you can do that? You can simply use this command, and that is apt list upgradable, and hit the enter. And here you see they are providing you that 300 apps or repositories which they are requesting you, or you can say they are suggesting you to upgrade. All right, so for example, usually these are safe to upgrade, so I'm simply gonna upgrade it using sudo apt upgrade and simply press enter. All right, and it would take 570 megabyte to 647 megabyte of archive. Do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. You can simply use capital Y or small y and simply hit the enter key, and that would simply download and install everything. As this is the first time of me downloading and updating this system in my virtual machine, it might take a bit of time. You have to simply wait for that. Here you see that it's asking me that it would take mostly 20 minutes or so, 9 minutes. It depends on the speed, on the internet speed of your system, and how many things it needs to download, the size obviously. But I would try to fast forward it so that you don't have to wait till it finishes, right? So they have successfully installed all of the updates. Now I can simply clear the terminal. Now let me show you something more. If you want task manager type thing in this terminal, they have a built-in command for that, and that is top. If I simply click top, you can see that they are giving me everything, how many memories I have total in the system and how many of them are free. I mean, how much of them are free, how much of them are used, and which things are, you can say, which applications are using those as well. All right. If you want to sort them, you can use shift M to sort using memory, or you can use shift sorry, maybe I have forgotten how to sort this out, but don't worry, I will show them later as well. But however, this type of task manager type thing looks boring to us, right? We can get a more simplified and nice looking version of it. Let me simply close it and I can simply clear it. However, if you want to close it, you can either close from here, but I would prefer you to use Ctrl Z, Ctrl and Z. If you press these two buttons together, it would simply stop those. All right, so let me simply clear it again. So which thing I want to install right now, that is sudo apt install, and the application name, that is htop. Let me give me my password and simply press the enter. All right, they have installed it, and if I simply use htop, you see this looks much cooler than earlier, right? Here I can see that, yeah, I have assigned two cores here. So the core starts from 0 here. So this is the first core, this is the second core. How many of them are using how much, I can see it right here. This is my memory, my RAM. I have allocated 3.80 gigabyte, approximately 4 gigabyte here, and it is using 1.76 gigabyte out of 3.80 gigabyte. It has 2.09 gigabyte in the swap memory. How many tasks are running, throughput and everything here. And if I simply use shift M, you see that it has sorted it in the descending order based on the memory, RAM. All right, and if I simply click on shift C, I can get more thing here. I can change the color. Let's say I am gonna change it to monochromic. The color has been changed. I can change it to light terminal. I can change it to anything else I want. You can also customize it anything you want, right? You can change the display option and a lot more thing. It has a huge possibility for customization. All right, now this looks a lot similar like Windows Task Manager. Let me show you something first. I can simply exit the full screen mode from here, and if I simply open the Task Manager, so this is my Windows Task Manager. All right, this is my Windows Task Manager, and here this is based on CPU, memory, disk, GPU, network, and so on. So I'm getting almost the similar kind of view here in this terminal as well. And if you want, you can use another terminal as well. For example, I also prefer to use btop, and I can install it by using sudo apt install btop. And if I want to open it, I can simply type btop and hit the enter. You see, this is the btop. Here I can see the CPU and other processes, memory, disks, network, and everything here. Download speed, upload speed. That's it. All right, and let me show you anything. One more thing. If we want to test the internet speed on Windows or Mac, we can use various methods. But if we want to use that in Linux CLI version, that means command line interface version, there's a great small application for that, and that is speed test. If I simply type speed test, they say me that it is not installed, but I can install it using this command. So I can simply copy and paste this, but here let me simply type it out for you. Sudo apt install speed test CLI and simply press enter. And if I simply use my speed test command in the terminal, you see that it's retrieving the configuration and it would provide me the speed instantly. But I am doing everything using the terminal, the CLI version. How cool is that, right? So they are telling me that my current download speed is 77.72 megabits, and the current upload speed is something like 92.89 megabits. All right, so that's it for this video. In the upcoming video, I'm gonna walk you through to some more essential steps on your Linux operating system. But yeah, I know that I'm using Ubuntu operating system because this is one of the most used operating system in the Linux fandom. But if you can understand the concept, you can use the almost same kind of methodology in any other Linux distributions as well. All right, now if you want to shut down your operating system, you can simply click here and you can use power off, and here power off. But if you want to shut your Linux operating system using terminal, you can also do that by simply typing this command shutdown and simply press the enter key, and this has scheduled the shutdown process. You can use shutdown -c to cancel it, but let's see, I want to shut down it right now, so I can simply use shutdown now. It would simply shut down the entire system right now. So that's it.